Councilmember LaFrance.
Present.
Councilmember Blank.
I'd like to suspend the rules to go into executive session. Can you read it? Yeah.
Just a second.
Kim, you have the,
I do. We couldn't print it, so she's going to read it off the phone. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
I have it. Executive session pursuant to LLRS 4217A10 to receive attorney-client privileged information related to Fannie Farms LLC, Karen M. Myers and Kendall J. Myers versus Plaquemines Parish Government, case number 62493, 25th Judicial District Court, Division A, Attorney William Calvert.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules as second.
Second.
Second by Mr. LaFrance. Verbal roll call.
I know. Councilmember Bartholomew?
Yes.
Councilmember Black's absent. Councilmember Arbro?
Yes.
Councilmember Gooey is absent. Councilmember Koknovich?
Yes.
Councilmember Roussel?
Yes.
Councilmember Newberry?
Yes.
Councilmember LaFrance?
Yes.
And Councilmember Blank?
Yes.
It passes 7-0. Let the record show we're going into executive session at 4:07. Like to call the council meeting back to order at 4:30, coming out of executive session with no binding action.
A resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary and proper to assist the Plaquemines Parish Fair and Orange Festival and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Koknovich.
I'll off ask for a second. Second by Mr. Alborough. Is there any questions or concerns from the council, administration, audience? Being none, machines are open. That passes 7-0.
A resolution to provide employees group insurance and group insurance coverages consisting of medical, vision, dental, and life for the policy period of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022 on an employee-employer basis, contributory basis of 72%/28% and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
I'll off ask for a second. Second by Mr. Alborough. Any questions from the council? Administration? Audience? Yes, sir, Mr. Fortier. We'll have Hardy come up. Bridget.
Rob Forshade. I guess it's the same thing that I asked last year. Is there any way for the parish to save us any money, save the citizens of this parish any money in reducing the parish's contributory percentage less than the 72%? I think I worked some numbers out the other in the range of around 65 to 70%, and there is some considerable amount of savings considering the amount of money that the parish pays at 72%. So, is there any way that we could consider anything less than 72% to try to save the money, save the parish and the citizens some money in taxes in the budget? Thank you.
Thank you.
I have Mr. Wayne Fasan and Bridget Horton, our HR supervisor manager here, if they want to come up front and address Mr. Forshay's question.
Thank you for having us today. I didn't quite hear the complete question back there, but what I did hear was trying to save some money for the parish. Is that basically it?
Less than percentage, less than 72%, 65, 68, 65, 62, 60,
Well, anytime you,
50.
yeah, anytime you reduce,
So I think the question is, you want to decrease.
Reduce the amount the parish pays and put more on the employee.
Right, you want to decrease the benefit for the employee of Plaquemines Parish government, correct?
I want to see if there is any way that we can save money in the budget by reducing the amount paid by the citizens of the parish and increasing the amount paid by the employees. 28% is way less than what is the general norm in the private industry. How in the world can we not justify in the position that we're in this parish with money? We're broke. That's what is being said every meeting. We're broke. We have no money. We can't cut grass. We can't do this. We can't do that. You just go on across the board, right? Trying to find money. This is one
Correct.
place.
So you could possibly lower the rate that we pay as a parish entity for our employees' benefits. Also, they look at a different thing that you may not look at, as these employees haven't had raises in a while. That's also a possibility. There's layoffs on the table. That's a possibility if that comes up. There's all kinds of ways you could cut costs. Now, that is an option, but this is what we're recommending. We're recommending that we stay at 7228.
Well, yes,
we
you're
don't
right,
have-
you're right. There's a lot of things that could happen. Of course, layoff, you don't have to worry about paying a benefit if they're no longer employed, right?
Yeah, you asked your question and she answered it, and you can only come up one time.
It's just a response. It's a response to them.
It was one time up on each ordinance, so.
Okay. This is incomplete. I mean, look,
Please sit down and, yes, sir, go ahead.
no, Bridget's absolutely right. The only way to reduce the cost would be to give less benefits. And I think in today's world, people are looking and really need to have as good of benefits that are available, that you can get your, everybody that has a chance to have the coverage. So obviously, it's something that can be, we can always look at something next year and get an opportunity to get some input. But at this stage of the game, I think Bridget was exactly right. That 7228 has been here. Many people are trying to actually reduce the cost to the employees over time. And it's what you guys want to do. I mean, that's the bottom line. Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Ms. Newberry?
I'll just make a statement. And you're right. I think it's an attraction to get employees to come work when the government has a good policy in place that attracts benefits to get employees to work for us. I mean, I don't know if it's attracting them today because we can't even find employees, so, so if we go on the percentage of the employees, we could be potentially risking at losing more employees, and we have a hard time finding employees. So I think what the people need to look at, I think we need to keep that attraction there for the employees to say, hey, it's affordable benefits. Maybe not to some it is. There are employees out there that don't even carry benefits because they can't afford it. So I'm satisfied with what y'all presented to us. And like I said, I'm sure we're always looking at ways to reduce that cost. Last year you came up here and We didn't even have an increase of premiums. Unfortunately, with the claims, you can't help that with the pandemic. It increased a little bit. So here we are today, offering great benefits to the to the employees of Plaquemines Parish.
Mr. Bartholomew?
Yes, my question is that, did we have input from our staff, employees, about the program being offered today?
Yes, sir. We did. We had our annual insurance committee meeting.
Speaking to Mike, Bridget.
Yes, we did. We had an insurance committee meeting. We met 3 times this year, and we just had one recently with all the final quotes and information on the table so that the employees could review it. That committee is made of multiple employees from different areas, not just managers or supervisors. It's made of general staff as well.
And the end results?
They recommended that we would stay with Blue Cross Blue Shield. They're happy with their benefits, and that's one of the perks of working for Plaquemines Parish government.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Roussel?
Yes, I understand Mr. Faucher's comments, Mr. Faucher. However, it seems that that question is really for this board or the administration to decide. That's a policy issue, whether or not we're going to pay benefits 7228, and it's been established, and I don't think there's a will to move that along. So I think the answer to your question is no, we're not going to save any money there. To these people who are making the presentation, they're here to make the presentation about what policy is going to be offered to the employees next year and how much is the rate increase, and that's what you need to address.
Kenny, I couldn't quite hear you that next question.
Which part?
The
Any
end-
of it?
The ending.
The ending is, you're here to make the presentation about our renewal of premium policies, and the rate increase is what I think everyone needs to know about.
Yeah, well, we always go to all the carriers that are offering coverage to try to get the best possible coverage that we can. But at the same time, you have to consider, we made a move a few years ago to save a few dollars, and it wound up creating a lot of issues with people's drugs. When we moved from one carrier to another, we changed our drug formulary, which made people that had a tier 1 drug and may pay $10 for it, that drug might have turned into a $60 drug with the new carrier. So there's always trade-offs. While we can maybe save a few dollars in the beginning on a premium, we wind up making it more costly to the employees. And I think that's why everybody is so satisfied right now with Blue Cross, because they know how it operates. All their drugs are in the network. All their doctors are available. And, it's just a matter of what does the parish contribute, which makes the balance available for the employees to have to pay. So bottom line is, we check it every year.
I understand all that. I'm trying to get to the bottom line is, what is the rate increase, the percentage? Is it 7%?
It's 7.4, I believe it is.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
It's 7.4.
Yep.
Any other questions? Machine's open. Well, Mr. Valet?
I hate to keep getting involved in everything, but it seems like I've done it at some point in time in my life. I've been chairman of committees where we selected insurance benefits when I was in the banking business. I was one to negotiate all the insurance benefits when I had my marine company. And we started with a budget. Where we were before, what we could do, and where we were with, like you all, how much do we have available to pay for insurance benefits for various people? Then we narrowed it down simply to what benefits do we really need to take care of our employees that were there. Then we went out to bid, and we asked for proposals based upon that. Some of the people elected not to take dental. They elected not to take life to keep costs down. They'd rather have other benefits and health benefits rather than those. So it's really a choice of you all. You have a budget with this administration, how many dollars you can spend, not so much what it's going to cost you additional. Then go out and shop it on this thing and come back to your committee. And giving the employees choices of what they can select and not select with the dollars that you have available. I'm not trying to get you to make a decision on a specific, but that's how the scope that we did it.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think if that's the place that we was working on, that they had finished one of those.
I'll get him to ask. Any other questions? Machine's open. Let the record show Mr. Bartholomew was a verbal yes, and it's 7-0.
Moving to agenda item 11A, introduction of resolutions wherein suspension is being sought. We do have a couple. The first is for Councilmember Konovich. A resolution by the Plaquemines Parish Council to correct resolution number 21-256 to correct an error therein and to ratify the reduction of the assessed valuation of the property concerning Suburban Gun Rod and Motor Club, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
I'll offer and ask for a second for the suspension. Second by Mr. Roussel. Any questions? Machine's open on the suspension. Let the record show Mr. Bartholomew verbal yes, 7-0 on the suspension.
11A, a resolution by the Plaquemines Parish Council to correct resolution number 21-256 to correct an error therein and to ratify the reduction of the assessed valuation of the property concerning Suburban Gun, Rod, and Motor Club, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
I'll offer ask for a second. Second by Mr. Roussel. Any questions from the council, administration, audience? Machine's open. Mr. Bartholomew with a verbal yes, passes 6 with 1 no.
Another one for suspension. A resolution by the Plaquemines Parish Council to correct resolution number 21-257 to correct an error therein and to ratify the reduction of the assessed valuation of the property concerning Wilson B. Hildebrand, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
I'll offer ask for a second. Second by Mr. Roussel on the suspension. Machine's open. Passes 7-0.
A resolution by the Plaquemines Parish Council to correct resolution number 21-257 to correct an error therein and to ratify the reduction of the assessed valuation of the property concerning Wilson B. Hildebrand, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
I'll offer ask for a second. Second by Mr. Roussel. Any questions from the council, administration, audience? Machine's open. It passes 6-1.
Item 11K, discussion by Wayne Burgess with the LSU Ag Center and 4-H program. Councilmember Konovich.
Everything else deferred?
To get them out of here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Council members, we just want to do a short update. I wanted to do this earlier in the year. We were wearing masks, and we were open, then we went back to another wave, and then we had a hurricane. So I know I'm kind of late getting to this, but I just want to do a short update with you. But I do want you guys to know this also. We have a new 4-H agent in Plaquemines Parish. This is Mr. Derek Landrum. And you know the Sea Grant agent, Miss Dominique Siebert. Derek joined us back in May. He's been doing extension work about 5 years now. He transferred in. He's really good, and the kids are really going to love him. Another thing that we do have is we also have a new county agent, and I realize some of y'all may not be aware of that. Her name is Anna Timmerman. She couldn't be here today. She's out of state. But we have a little short PowerPoint that we're going to show. And Anna also transferred into Plaquemines Parish. She's been working in Jefferson She has helped me for the past 5 years with our local farmers because when we lost Alan Vaughn, no one came in to replace him. And I couldn't get his position replaced because of Ag Center funding. So I want you guys to be aware of this. Anna is working like Alan did. She's going to be working St. Bernard and Plaquemines Parish, but it's not going to cost anything to Plaquemines Parish. Because Anna, I have a memorandum of understanding with the Miro Foundation in Dockville, and her salary is going to be paid through LSU and by the Miro Foundation. So they will split the cost. And just so you're aware of it, the Miro Foundation is paying her total cost this year. So I don't know if any of you have seen it or not, but they have a facility. It's a container facility, a citrus container facility on the Miro property at Dockville. And she's majoring, she's working on her master's right now. All of them are actually working on their master's right now. She's working on her master's in citrus. So I think she's really going to be beneficial to Plaquemines Parish. And I look forward to y'all being able to call her when you have questions. But anyway, we do have a jump drive with a, oh, I'm sorry. How do we get it to?
So I've worked with Anna before, so since she's not here, I'm going to present her stuff for her. Like Mr. Wayne mentioned, she came over from Jefferson, Orleans, and St. Charles Parish. She's been with LSU Ag Center for about 5 years, and she has 17 years in the commercial horticulture experience. For her Plaquemines Parish programming, she's already been doing things here sort of unofficially, but what she basically does is her home garden. She works with over 400 calls a year. She does a lot of public outreach and doing gardening events, civic meetings, local festivals. She does a ton of school and community garden work, a lot of commercial horticultural assistance, and she has 12 master gardeners so far in Plaquemines Parish and plans on expanding that program now that she's officially with us.
You might have noticed in the Gazette, she started articles about a month ago about gardening.
And she only officially started like a week ago, so she's already hit the ground running with us. She is really highly interested in the citrus industry in Plaquemines Parish. Like Mr. Wayne mentioned, that's what her research will be. She hosts the LSU Ag Center's Citrus Symposium that started in 2021 and will be hosted yearly. She also has her private pesticide application certification, and she is secretary of the Louisiana Citrus Growers Association. And part of the money that was used to build the citrus facility was a grant she applied for, the USDA Specialty Crop Block Grant. This is the facility in St. Bernard Parish at the Miro Foundation called Fuse. It's a fruit under screened environment. She's studying containerized citrus trees and will also be working with different types of blueberries as well. This facility was designed to withstand a Category 3 storm, but made it through Hurricane Ida with no damage. So we're really excited about this facility. And you guys can visit it anytime. It's an LSU Ag facility now. This is her research that will be ongoing starting in, well, she started now, but this is what her goals are for 2022 through 2025, along with her cell phone and her email if you guys have any questions. Or I can answer any questions on behalf. Okay, so Anna's new. I've been here for a little while. I've been with Plaquemines and St. Bernard Parish for about 5 years and 10 years in this industry. I'm also getting my master's degree, like Mr. Wayne mentioned, and my focus areas are the commercial fishing industries and coastal restoration projects in St. Bernard and Plaquemines Parish. Sort of a yearly event that we do, we host a Marsh Dogs camp for the youth of Plaquemines and St. Bernard Parish. It's targeted towards high school youth each summer. They spend about a week with us where they learn everything about marsh creation, biodiversity. They do water quality testing, GPS mapping. They do a lot of hands-on work with microscopes. They also go canoeing and fishing, and it's really a week-long sort of education vacation. where they get to learn all about the coast and the local industries and the things that directly affect them in their own backyard. This is provided by grants that I apply for and personal donations for people in the community, and it's at no cost for all those students who participate. Also, things that I do is each spring we do courtesy TED checks for our shrimpers. I bring in the people from the Coast Guard and NOAA to come to their boats in the springtime before the shrimp season gets cranked up. Make sure all their TEDs are correctly installed. This is really just to prevent them from getting any future citations or possibly losing their catch. All corrections are made that day, and that gives them ready to go for the new shrimping season. We do commercial and fishermen workshops and trainings throughout the year. The last year they've been mostly online or through Zoom. We're still holding them and hopefully more in person soon. This includes HACCP training, regulation training, for hire fishing, preventing black spot, microprocessing, seafood labeling, and business management. South Shore Direct is also a free program that we offer for all local fishermen. We help train them to sell their catch directly to the public and help them get proper licensing, and hopefully starting some fishermen markets here once the Harbor of Refuge is complete from the LA Safe money. That was one of the projects mentioned as part of the LA Safe Harbor of Refuge. Also, tomorrow, if you guys are not doing anything, I'm hosting a huge event at the YMCA Port Sulphur facility for South Platte Elementary and South Platte 8th graders. We will be doing wetland days. We're taking them on some airboats, and they get to tour the marsh as well as visit different stations and learn about core sampling and comparative anatomy and touch boxes, which means we trick them into putting their hand in a box to see if they can figure out what they're touching. So if you guys want to stop by and see the students experience all that, you guys are welcome to do it.
And I gave you guys a copy, a little bit of the type of stuff that they're going to be going over tomorrow and some of those reviews. You can take a look at it.
All right, so I'll keep it short and sweet. As Wayne said, I'm Derek Landrum. I started here in May as
Excuse me.
agent working with them. Yes.
Excuse me. Before you start, could you let me know what is black spot?
Black spot is sort of a condition that affects shrimp when they're not properly stored and not properly cooled. So it's like black spots on their tail. So when we prevent black spot, we're basically increasing their net worth because their shrimp are prettier, they last longer, and they hold better.
Well, I know they use that powder.
You have to use it properly, and then you still have to store it at the proper temperature, and you can't load your bags up too much. Because if the bags are loaded too much, it doesn't filter all the way through.
So like I was saying, I'm Derek Landrum. I've been here since May. Before working here, I was a 4-H agent in Orleans Parish, and I have a lot of experience working with Plaquemines youth through some of the cooperative programs I was doing with the agents before me and with Wayne. You know, I've met a lot of the 4th graders at summer camp and some other programs we did. We are just getting back rolling strong. You know, this year we are able to be back in schools doing 4-H in person with the kids. We're able to do our summer camps. We're doing a lot of fun opportunities that weren't able to be done so much during the COVID shutdown. So, you know, we're meeting with, you know, Belle Chase High School, Belle Chase Middle School, Phoenix High School, South Platte Elementary, South Platte High School, and Boothville Venice Elementary on a regular basis. We also have programs that are starting at Belle Chase Academy and the Navy Youth and Child Program on the base. We're also reaching Belle Chase Elementary and Belle Chase, Belle Chase High School with some other programs that are going on with a Seed to Success gardening program that the LSU Ag Center is hosting. We are also going to be doing our cookery and club spirit contest this year, along with a trip for 4-H night with the Pelicans, where we take the kids to go watch a basketball game at the arena. We are also doing our aquatic education clinics this year, so we're going to be meeting with our elementary students to do fishing classes out at the Myrtle Grove Arena, assuming that it's in good enough shape. And of course, like I said, we're going to be trying to do our summer camps and our 4-H University and a lot of the opportunities that get our kids out of the parish, meeting kids from across the strait and provide them with a chance to travel and have some unique and exciting experiences. We also are doing enrichment curriculum. That's something that LSU has started at the state level that we're sharing with all of our teachers here. We're emailing principals to let them know that these opportunities are available. These are designed curriculums that support teachers on topics such as life science, conflict resolution, financial management, healthy choices. We have 7 different curriculum programs that range across all ages and a lot of different topics.
And finally, what we're most excited about for 2022 is basically a collaborative effort between myself, Anna, and Derek. We're going to be introducing coastal roots programming into the Plaquemines Parish schools. So basically, the schools will have their own greenhouse, and the kids will grow plants all year long. And at the end of the school year, they can plant the plants somewhere in their environment to help prevent some coastal degradation and some coastal restoration projects. This gives kids the chance to be environmental stewards in their own backyard, and all 3 of us will be working on that together.
And that's pretty much what we got, guys. We just want to give you a short update. Appreciate y'all's attention. We can't do our job without y'all's support. Just to let you know, at some point, we may be looking for some judges for the cookery contest.
Thank you.
Anyway, we appreciate your support.
And if you guys have any questions or
Miss-
anything, give us a call.
Mr. LaFrance,
Yes, what time you said you're gonna be at South Platte tomorrow?
the why?
Yes, we'll be at the Y. The first group starts at 8:15.
And we're wrapping about 3 o'clock.
Okay, I would like to have the opportunity to speak to you tomorrow. I have a concrete slab at South Platte that I spoke to the principal about utilizing for a greenhouse.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please.
That'd be great.
I know we have the structure of a greenhouse right behind the government complex that I spoke to you, Mr. Bartholomew, about. Could we get it to use and for South Platte High School?
Okay. I don't know if you remember Betsy Breen, but when she worked for ConocoPhillips,
Yeah, I remember that.
we had like a cookie cutter greenhouse thing that we did. We put greenhouses in about 4 different schools for the cost of like $7,500 a greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to speak for anybody, but I'm just saying there may be the possibility to reach out to a company such as them to see if they're still interested in something. I know Betsy's been gone,
Yeah.
but the template's still there.
Yeah, well, we have Tristan right now. He's the public relation
I
guy.
haven't really met him, so.
Yes.
We have lots of fun gardening curriculum we can do with the kids once the greenhouse is up and running,
Mm-hmm.
Lots of good stuff to learn there.
Are you?
Thank you, Mr. Bartholomew.
Yes. We need some assistance and some help to revitalize the Davant Park. We have a beautiful lake, and it's not being utilized. And we need to see if we can develop some program through you all to help get the kids back into the environment, utilizing the park. And, because it has some fish in there, and then we can also, I had an opportunity to call the lieutenant governor about it, and he showed me that he can get some more fish, stocked fish to put in the pond, but we want the kids to use it. So, yeah, that bass as well. So, but we need your help to organize that. Need your help to organize that. Okay. And if anything I can do when they get ready, just please give me a buzz. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any, Mr. Reverend Edwards?
And Councilman Bartholomew, when that happened, we got to make sure the parish employee don't go by, because the group kids came from every school in Plaquemine Parish when I was managing Y, planted a lot of trees, but the parish employees came and cut them down. So we got to make sure that when they do come, that the parish employees know that this is just not grass, but it's trees that need to remain, because they plant some beautiful trees, but the parish employees came behind them and cut them down.
Sorry to hear that. But any other questions? Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Moving to agenda item 3, proclamations, there are none. Item 4, status report by the parish president.
There is none.
4A, update by the Charter Directors. 1, old business, 2, new business.
Mr. Roussel?
Yes, Director of Public Service, I'm looking at the report here, and I did have some calls about the water pressure. And water pressure, it says here, continues to be a problem in the Port Sulphur water plants out of service. We've had several fire hydrants damaged by debris. How many fire hydrants do we still have that haven't been repaired yet? And as far as the Port Sulphur water plant, who is doing any work or assessments to determine what we're going to do to get it back up?
All of the fire hydrants that were broken and leaking have been abated where they're not leaking anymore. Some of them, we had to do mainline repairs. Some of them we were able to valve in. There were at least 5 that were broken off that we had to do mainline repairs on, and there's been another 8 or 10 that we were unable to valve in. Even as recently as last week with the debris contractor damaging hydrants while they're trying to clean up debris on the side of the road. So we believe that everything on the main line is intact currently. The Port Sulphur water plant used to make 3 million gallons a day. Now it's making 0. We started up Boothville. Boothville has a capacity of 1 million gallons a day, and we're pushing as much water as we can from Belchase south to keep the reservoir filled at Port Sulphur. That being said, it is a priority for us to get the Port Sulphur water plant back up and running so we can get back to the water pressure that everyone's been accustomed to. We are currently running enough water pressure to where we do not have to have a boil water order, which is below 20 pounds. The valve at the Port Sulphur reservoir has been set around 30 pounds, and that means that obviously there's 30 pounds going into the reservoir, so everybody north of there would have 30 pounds of pressure. We do have a consultant on board that is tasked with doing an assessment of the Port Sulphur water plant and also giving us a cost estimate on what it's going to take to get it up and running. Their intent is to do it in 2 phases, one in an emergency type setting to where we can get some water and start making water at the plant, and then 2, to get it back to what it was. So they have been tasked with doing an assessment. The assessment is supposed to start either tomorrow or Monday. They will be down there, and hopefully soon we'll have some ideas on what it's going to take to get it put back together.
And who's doing the assessment?
Trigon.
And so you think that they'll be able to get successfully some emergency repairs to get some water running?
Depending on the availability of parts.
Okay. All right, well, I hope that the people that ask those questions are watching so they can understand where we're at. The next question is, any progress on the Pride and its rudder?
The Pride's rudder has been manufactured by Bollinger. The dry dock at Bollinger is still not available. The only one that is large enough to pick up the Pride. And as soon as the dry dock's available, we'll get the boat there and we'll get the rudder repaired.
No estimate on time?
3 weeks ago, they told me it'd be about 2 weeks.
So you think it's soon?
I'm sorry?
You think it's soon then?
I'm not optimistic.
All right, okay. All right, then move to, I'm going to take this, which is usually on my agenda for the Popich building. I saw the estimates and I saw the work that needs to be done on there. Are we attacking any of this through FEMA? The repairs that need to be done, like the ceiling. I know the ceiling blew out for Hurricane Ida.
Yes, sir.
Are we writing a PW for that to get this repaired to the specs that were needed to take care of one of the items on the report?
We are currently doing assessments on all the buildings around the parish for hurricane damage, and all of that will be submitted in a PW to FEMA.
Okay, who's doing those assessments?
We are working that through Rostan.
All right, so I guess we need to wait till we see what FEMA's going to pay for?
Yes, sir.
Before we make any moves on the Popich building?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that could take a long time. All right. And I saw the advertisement in the paper for Fort St. Leon Drainage Project.
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you, that's all I have on that report.
Mr. Blank?
Sure. The Port Sulphur Water Plant, when permanent repairs are made, are the switch panels and the electric motors going to be elevated in such a way where they don't receive damage anymore? I know there's some new levees going in, but they're going to be a ways away, and they're probably not going to be as high as the adjacent levees.
I believe that the intent is to ask for that from FEMA to see if we can get that reimbursed. I don't know that that's going to be eligible. Whatever is eligible through FEMA is what we're going to do.
Is it technically possible?
Is it technically possible? Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Bartholomew?
Yes, Mr. Epler, could you state for the public the status of the day event center for AC is concerned?
The air conditioning unit at the Day Van Center, we have managed to get 2 quotes. We're waiting on 1 more quote, and then we'll issue a PO, and they'll order the equipment and change out that unit as soon as it's available.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blank?
Oh, sure. Scott, can you please give an update on the Empire Bridge? When parts might be coming, or what kind of timeline we have for the repair of that?
Brad Brooks checked with them about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and the company is still waiting on parts for the arms, and it all works together, all the mechanism, whether it's the solid bar that goes down in the arms and then the gate closes. So as soon as they get that to us, it's on back order, and we're just waiting on parts.
Got it. Is there, I mean, since the entire gearbox is ruined right now, is now a good time to look at replacing it with something more affordable and simple to work on?
We have the company that designed the bridge when they built it, and they doing the work on it. They do all the work for us, and that's the system they have for that bridge right now.
At what point do you think it's time to go in a different direction? At what point do you think it's time to go in a different direction? It's a very expensive repair, and it's a swing arm to keep traffic from going over the edge.
When we get some money, we can go in that direction, yes.
Okay, it just seems like maybe we need to be doing.
Time frame is hard to choose, so as soon as we can get the money to get paid for and look at it, we can.
All right. While we're near the Empire Bridge, I noticed that the bridge operators are now operating a floodgate. While using the Empire floodgate lock complex, it doesn't seem like there's very much communication. That if maybe you call the locks, the people in the floodgate may not be getting the message that you're coming through. And they'll, it's just, I don't know if there's a lot of coordination there. How is that coming along? What's the story?
Both systems have the same radio channel to work with. Why they're not communicating, I don't know, but we could check into it.
Got it. Now, I mean, are we still having to station somebody there to exercise those gates daily? What's going to happen when the bridge opens back up, and are those two things related?
Well, the design for the locks is to stay closed as much as possible, okay? And when they get boats to come in, then we would open it up. But the design is to keep it closed, to stop the filth from coming in and filtering in.
But what I'm asking is, now it seems like there's new rules from the Corps or somebody to change the normal operating procedure of that floodgate, and I'm wondering if that is part of the reason why maybe the administration isn't in such a rush to get the bridge righted, because we need those personnel by the floodgate now. Is that something?
We just have them by the floodgate now because the bridge, but they got a lot of boats going in and out during trawling season, so the best choice is put in by the floodgate, being in out at the bridge.
John, you look like you'd like to
We're
add.
working with the state to take over the locks because both gates can be operated from the new NOV 14 gate. It's negotiating with DOTD to get them to move their folks from their current location up into the new tower. We're gonna make some, changes up in there for them, make it a little bit easier for them to get up there to maneuver. It's not as big as the other, station, but I mean, it can operate both gates from one place. So we're working with the OTT to get them back up. It's just while the bridge was broken, the gates were broken, it was the best decision to put those folks in the gate while we're negotiating with the state.
Got it. So to be clear, you're saying that Plaquemines Parish government is going to take over the Empire Navlock, or
No.
DOTD is going to take over
DOTD is going to take over
floodgate?
exercising the gate at the same time they open the locks. So it can be operated from the new NOV 14 structure, both gates. Okay, the lock structure and the NOV 14, the floodgate. So one person, the person that works for the state, can now go into the tower on NOV 14 and operate both structures. So we're working with the state for them to take over complete operation of that. It is recommended and the Corps requires now that we keep NOV 14 closed because of the silting problems. We're still doing silting reports, and since we've been keeping it closed, we've maybe gotten like 4 inches of silt, over the last 90 days that we've been keeping it down.
In the state, they have no desire to put a mechanical solution in place, having pumps with nozzles and such.
Not at this time. It would be the Corps. We still have, that gate has not been 100% accepted yet, so we're still negotiating with them. Once we have that finished, I mean, that's where we're at on that.
Got it. It just, lately going through the locks is, in some instances, becoming like a 35-minute affair.
At least they're working, and the floodgate's working.
I mean, it just, if folks are looking out the window, listening to the radio, it could be the normal time. What's happening is, you're going in, the gate closes behind you, the gate in front of you opens, and then you still have to wait for the next gate in front of that to open, whereas they could be opening simultaneously. It's just, it doesn't seem like there's a operating procedure in place or something like that.
Can we work this on the side?
Certainly.
Yeah, you can get with Mr. Roussel on that with the folks down there. He's in charge of the operators themselves, and I'm sure they can work out a schedule with that and a procedure.
Okay, so we have a commitment from the administration to work to make locking procedures as efficient as possible?
That 14, we can't tell DOTD what exactly to do and how to operate their system. We'll work with them and communicate with them to make it a more feasible to go through the locks, and we'll communicate with them.
We've got this situation where, if you're in a vessel, you're passing a parish drawbridge with a 365-day employee, you're getting into the Empire Navlock with a 365-day employee, and now the Navlock person is going to have to run over to the new doghouse to open that gate, and it all could be one employee with the right cameras and sensors and, diligently listening to the radio. We're kind of tasked with cutting costs and saving some money. And I think there's an opportunity here with the right technology. And John, it seems like you're at the right guy at the right place at the right time. You're the IT guy, you're the tech guy, you're the harbor guy, and we're counting on you to get it right for us.
Well, we feel that the technology's already in place the way it was built. It's just getting the right person in that place and the procedure for that person to operate it all.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. LaFrance.
Yes. Do we have any estimated time when we're going to be able to get FEMA to come in Ironton and West Point, Lahash, and do some demoing and some cleanup? Because it has been moving very slow.
We're still waiting on FEMA to approve the private property debris removal, sir.
So we don't have an estimated time?
We ask them every day, and they haven't gotten back with us yet. We keep asking.
When they get back with you, could you please let me know?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bartholomew, how are you making out in Breakaway with the cleanup?
But it's not as bad as Ironton and West Point look. The problem we have is a lot of the lilies out of that pond.
Yeah.
The sewage pond we had up there. All that overflowed and that flowed into the people's backyard and front yard and things of that nature. And that was a concern of trying to get those things removed, and they haven't done so yet. And plus the debris from the homes that they were taking out, the sheetrock, things of that nature, will hang inside the streets. They're complaining about that as well.
You done, Mr. LaFrance? Mr. Bartholomew?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out why we don't control the gates at Carnarvon, because those gates are on parish property. Why we can't control those? And also, why can't we control the siphon? Because that's on parish property. Anybody know that? Why we can't do that? Can we get that? An opportunity to be responsible for it?
That gate, that floodgate at Carnarvon is run by the state, and they have a contractor that opens and closes it.
That St. Bernard control that.
Sir?
St. Bernard controls that.
Okay.
I do know who controls it. They open and close it. Huh?
Yeah, the state built the
State controls the
siphon.
siphon also.
Yeah, but the people, it may be charged that, but St. Bernard runs it. So why we can't run it with the state? It's on our property. I'm just asking, can we do that? Can we petition the state to give us the authority to mandate to operate those?
I'm sure we can petition the state to do any of that, sir. I don't know that we've thought
Well,
about
I'm
doing
saying the
that.
people was asking that we
I mean,
take an initiative to do it. Yeah.
If that's something you're asking us to do, then we will certainly look into it.
Would you please, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. LaFrance?
Yes, Mr. Helmer, did you speak to anyone about the Suzie Bayou?
It has been submitted over to Rostan, folks that are handling the FEMA stuff. And as soon as we get the debris approval on that and the cost estimate, then we'll be ready to move forward if approved.
When you get that, could you please call me and give me an update?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
One, Mr. Roussel, talked to you about the cattle on the road. Today I got a call, they was on the Venice Marina Road. Did you get to check out the cattle crossing that we covered or somebody covered?
I checked with Dugas, and he stated that there was a cattle guard there, and it was pulled out years ago. How long ago, sir? I'm not sure, but it would have to have a brand-new cattle gate made, crossing that would fit inside the road, and to find time to get there and dig it out and close the road for a period of time to rebuild the gate, we'd have to see what's all down there. So it'll take some time.
Can we get some signs put up to look out for cattle? Because like I said, they going up to the marina now.
Yes, we can do that. Yes.
Hey,
Give me a call. I'll solve your problem.
Mr. Bartholomew, well, we was gonna have a barbecue, but it's a bull.
That's what I'm talking about. I would like for the secretary for next meeting, under my discussion, to add the status or the condition of the levee from Carnarvon to White Ditch and the progress being made on the culverts from Phoenix to Bohemia back levee for the next meeting. Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, I have.
Go back to the agenda, please.
Item 5, bids and advertisements.
Yes, sir. Yep. Ask the question to the council.
What I was wondering about when I was listening to the director report, especially relate to FEMA, was there any communication with other parish government, how they have been very successful in getting FEMA to go in areas like Ironton and being very successful in cleaning out. So I wondered if they ever talked to any of the other parishes about how they've been very successful to getting FEMA to go on private property like what's happening in Ironton and other areas in Blackman Parish. That's my question.
Mr. Eppley, you have anything on that?
Do we know which parishes have been very successful getting private property cleaned up?
Well, I know in Terrebonne Parish and other parish, we're seeing FEMA going in there, and the parish president was on the news the other day talking about how successful they have been. I saw Channel 8 News the other day. They were doing a special actually showing how the areas are being cleaned up in out a short period of time. So I've been monitoring every day, and then I've been looking at Ironton and saying that, well, all the highway is very clean, but it's strange that this community is not being done. So I'm just wondering if the procedure we using for requesting is the same request that they use, because obviously they're doing something that we're not doing.
We will reach out to Terrebonne Parish and find out what it is that they're doing that we're not, sir.
Good evening. I'm Tracy Riley, 13482 Highway 23 Bell Chase. I have been doing some volunteer work for a couple of families who asked me to help them as they start to rebuild, and it's mostly elderly residents, residents who are low income. They've been given the impression from sitting in government meetings that their property would be cleaned off by the government. And after having a meeting with President Lepine, that is no longer what they should be expecting. So my question is, for those who are sitting in this state of wait, is the current process or the rule for the residents to be responsible for cleaning cleaning all of the debris out, or is there some resource or some of that work that is going to be done by the government, by the parish? Like, do you know how far the parish is allowed to go into these communities and help? Because if we know at least that much, then the residents can begin to do something rather than just wait.
I think if you put it by the road, put stuff by the roadside, we'll pick up right away, right?
All right, curbside pickup.
So in a community like Ironton, what does that look like? Because you've got, what is that, about a quarter, half a mile off of Highway 23, and they have streets on the inside of that community. It's like 4 or 5 blocks. Do we mean curbside to the house?
Mr. Olive, I was in that meeting with
Yes,
President
ma'am.
Lepine, yourself, and
And thank you, by the way, for giving us that time.
and it was explained about the right of entry process with FEMA. And President Lepine also explained, if they clean their property and get it to the street, that our trucks would come in and pick up what they put there at the street.
In front of their house.
In front of their house?
Yes.
Okay. And during that conversation, there was some talk about waiting on FEMA to follow up with the resources. I mean, I didn't take notes that day, so I want to make sure that I'm repeating
We
this.
have turned over all of the right of entries that were filled out for that area, for the Ironton community, and we're waiting for FEMA's approval. Once we receive FEMA's approval, then we'll be able to go on personal property.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. LaFrance?
Yeah, I want to say that we have a company by the name of Venture Global who haven't made a red cent in Plaquemine Parish. They haven't made a red cent. But yet they out here, they training our young people, electricians, CDL. After the hurricane, they gave gas, tents, tarps, hammers, nails. They was just doing a lot of things. And I want to say thank you to Venture Global. But we have companies in Plaquemine Parish that made millions upon millions of dollars that I had reached out to and asked them for help for this community of Ironton and West Point, Lahash.
and they haven't lifted a finger. We have some borrow pit operators that made millions, and they have heavy equipment, and they haven't lifted a finger. It ain't because I didn't ask. So I just wanted my council members to know that.
Thanks. If anybody has Mr. Bartholomew?
And contrary to the problems Mr. Councilman LaFrance had, we did have some support from bulk terminal to help clean that highway. They brought the equipment and them in up there to help get all the debris off the road expeditiously. So they did to come up as they did in the past.
Thank you. If anybody has a deferral, QN, I have a few. 9B, C, D, E, F, G, I. That's it for me. Anyone else has a deferral withdrawal at this time?
L, I think that we're going to withdraw L.
Withdraw L?
Yeah, because I think Kim and I'm going to read the newer resolution for that, on resolution for the parish.
Withdraw N.
N. Does Mr. Black want to go with M? Have you talked to him?
I didn't talk to him about that.
He deferred that one.
All right. Anyone else?
G, 11G.
11G. Anyone else?
11E.
11E.
Deferred.
Okay, I'll go over them again. Mr. Blank?
Yeah, apparently per the charter, I have one that has to lay over as well. It's 9A1. It has to lay for 2 weeks. It was introduced last week.
9A1 be deferred. I'll go over them again. 9A1, B, C, D, E, F, G, I, and M are deferred. N will be withdrawn. 11E and G deferred. And L will be deferred, withdrawn. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to withdraw 11I as well.
Withdraw 11I.
You're withdrawing 11L?
I'm sorry.
11I, he is, Mr. LaFrance withdrew 9L.
It is 11I.
Could go back to bids and advertisements.
Item 5, bids and advertisements. There are none. Item 6, beer and liquor licenses.
If you have any QN, I have a couple. Black Velvet Oyster Bar and Grill, 105 Elson Lane, Burris. Cypress Cove Grill, P.O. Box 609 Bell Chase, 226 Cypress Cove Road, Venice. Cypress Cove Marina, 235 Cypress Cove Road, Venice. Mr. Roussel?
Yes, I have several rather. Zydeco's Restaurant at 7010 Highway 23, Bell Chase. And it's renewal for Class A liquor license. I have State Oil Fuel Center, P.O. Box 220, Bell Chase, Louisiana. It's also a renewal for a Class A liquor license. I have State Oil Fuel Center, P.O. Box 220, Bell Chase. State Oil, it's also a Class B liquor license for renewal.
Mr. Bartholomew?
Yeah, I have one, DJ's One Stop, P.O. Box 354, Point Lahash, Louisiana, zip 70082. Physical address is 18013 Highway 15, Point Lahash, Louisiana, 70082.
Mr. Alborough?
I have two renewals, Bell Chase Tobacco Discount, 8625 Highway 23, Clubhouse Bar and Grill at 8133 Highway 23.
And that's all offer. Ask for a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bartholomew. Any questions? Machines are open. Passes 7-0. Take 1, 2, and 3 in global.
Okay. Item 7, building permits. 7A, Gun Concrete, application number 2021-780, dated October 15th, 2021. Installed 20 pilings for concrete plant foundation. 17777 Highway 23, Port Sulphur. Councilmember LaFrance. 7A2, Locks LLC, application number 2021-790, dated October 21st, 2021. Install pile clusters, drill the South Pass A prospects, and install wellhead protector. South Pass area, Block 7, Pass A, Lutry, WMA. Councilmember Bartholomew. 7A3, Helix Oil and Gas LLC, application number 2021-724, dated September 15th, 2021. Install pile clusters, drill the SL195QQ well number 104, and install wellhead protector, 2-inch gas lift line, and 4-inch flow line. North Black Bay Field, Councilmember Bartholomew.
Mr. Bartholomew, Mr. LaFrance, you offer?
Offer.
Mr. LaFrance offers. There a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Blink. Any questions? Machines are open. And passes 5 with 1 abstention. Yeah. Take the next 3.
Item 7B, Crescent Excavation LLC, application number 2021-763, dated October 5th, 2021. Commercial trailer for storage use only in a floodplain zoning district. 840 West Ravenna Road, Bell Chase, Louisiana. Councilmember LaFrance.
Mr. LaFrance, you offer?
Yeah, take B and C together.
7B, or 7C, Crescent Excavation LLC, application number 2021-764, dated October 5th, 2021. Commercial trailer for storage use only in a floodplain zoning district. 850 West Ravenna Road, Bell Chase, Louisiana. Councilmember LaFrance.
No offer.
Mr. LaFrance offers. There a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bartholomew. Did they answer your questions on these?
Yes, I spoke to Ms. Amitra. She told me this was temporary, it's temporary trailer. And she had told me that the only reason why it's on there because the council had wanted to see everything that went into the flooded zone. So.
Thank you. Mr. Roussel?
So the legal department checks off on this, and Zach Smith checks off on this as far as being appropriate for temporary trailers?
Yeah, we spoke to Mr. Smith, and because these are temporary in nature, the applications are temporary in nature, they're acceptable.
And so they're gonna be temporary for 6 months?
Yes, there's a 6-month time limit on it, yes, sir.
And then we're gonna renew them in 6 months?
Yes, they're only being approved for 6 months at a time, so they would have to be renewed after 6 months.
And so Zach Smith says that's gonna not cause us any problems?
Yes, he said that we'll be fine with NFIP because
Every
it's
6 month
temporary in
renewals?
nature. Sir?
Every 6 months to be renewed? Because we set a precedent for other people, you know, to be able to come in and.
He said that it's fine for 6 months. We did not speak about renewals after 6 months.
And not only that, it's the nature of the trailer itself and its ability to move. Doesn't basically become part of an immovable property.
Any other questions? Machines open. They pass 7-0.
Item 7D, Shady Oaks Trailer Park and Trailer and RV Park, Frank Daigle, conditional approval for one additional trailer space, Shady Oaks Lane, Belchase, Louisiana. Councilmember Blank.
Mr. Blank, you offer?
I do.
Mr. Blank offers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. LaFrance. Same question here.
Spoke with Todd. He said that the new floodplain manager has looked at it, and because it's an RV spot, it's temporary in nature.
It doesn't say RV spot, it says additional trailer space, so.
It's trailer space. It's an additional trailer space, so it's additional space added to the park, and so it's not a trailer.
So do they have to come back to us for a trailer permit to put it there?
I'd have to talk to me. I don't know. I think once the RV spaces are approved and electric hookup and all that's done, anytime RVs move in and out, they don't come get a new permit. So by authorizing this, you're simply adding a space to the facility.
And so I guess what I'm trying to understand is that we feel comfortable issuing 6-month permits or adding trailer spaces to RV parks without having to go to the base flood elevation.
Yes, RV parks are allowed. They're temporary in nature. They're not permanent hookups. Yes.
Thank you.
Well, we asked last week about getting the new permit guy to come to Buras in Port Sulphur. Can we see about doing that next week? Because there's a lot of questions need to be answered.
Next week being Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Any
Thursday,
day.
Friday and holidays.
Any day he wants to come, because
So I did have an email go back and forth with him today. He is interested in getting these meetings done as soon as possible. I'll have to check with him on a schedule and see if we can possibly do something for early next week. I'll ask.
Thank you. Any other questions? Machine's open. Passes 7-0.
Item 8, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. I have a few. The first are for Councilmember Konovich. An ordinance to prohibit all marine vessels from operating on or over all public highway and utility right-of-ways during a declared state of emergency, establishing fines and penalties for violation thereof, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution providing for canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the special election held in Parish of Plaquemines, State of Louisiana on Saturday, November 13th, 2021, to authorize the levy of a special tax therein. A resolution providing for canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the special election held in the Parish of Plaquemines, State of Louisiana on Saturday, November 13th, 2021, to authorize the levy of a special tax therein. A resolution providing for canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the special election held in the Parish of Plaquemines, State of Louisiana on Saturday, November 13th, 2021, to authorize the levy of special tax therein. The next is for Councilmember Bartholomew, an ordinance authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary to move forward with having the Davant Community Center's air conditioner replaced immediately, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
Excuse me, we had suggested not to offer that today?
Yes. Sorry about that. This is for
Thank you.
Councilmember Bartholomew. An ordinance authorizing and directing the parish president to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement between Plaquemines Parish Port Harbor and Terminal District in Plaquemines Parish government for the transfer of certain rights, obligations, liabilities, and assets related to ferry services. Transferring the employees in the Plaquemines Parish Government Ferry Department to the Plaquemines Parish Port Harbor and Terminal District, all in accordance with civil service rules and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. This is for Councilmember Arbro, a resolution creating a policy of the Plaquemines Parish Council wherein all emails submitted. That one was withdrawn. This one's for Councilmember Roussel, a resolution to reject industrial tax exemption application number 2021013-ITE for applicant C&C Marine and Repair LLC for participation in the industrial tax exemption program relative to their expansion project in Plaquemines Parish. And last is for Councilmember LaFrance, an ordinance authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to suspend water payments for 6 months for residents living in Braithwaite and Ironton through West Point of Lahash and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And that is it. Item 9A1 is deferred. Item 9B, deferred. 9C is deferred. 9D, E, F, G is deferred. 9H, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan Restore Act Projects Project, Restore Act Bay Adams Project, and Restore Act East Bank Land Bridge Project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Konovich.
I'll offer ask for a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bartholomew. Any questions from the council? Bay Adams Project, yep. Administration,
Yeah,
Mr. Blink.
yeah. John, can you please explain what's going on here for folks at home?
It's to set up, all the money's been approved and appropriated by Restore Act, and it's to set up the account number or project number for Bay Adams. Somehow, some way, $100,000 was shorted on it or put down the wrong way through Restore, and we have to have a project number for accounting so we can proceed with both projects. And Bay Adams is already underway. It's in process of being permitted, and the first preliminary design has been completed.
And what are they gonna do in Bay Adams?
Bay Adams it's a ridge and a rim. They're gonna enforce the whole rim of Bay Adams and then build marsh behind it. It's about 500 to 600 acres. And it'll protect that north side from the water coming up from the southwest.
Mr. Roussel.
Yeah, this is more than setting up account. This is moving $1 million from the Restore Act project to this project, correct?
We're moving $100,000 back from the East Bank Land Bridge back to Bay Adams.
Did you read section 1?
Which part of the project are you talking about? The second?
Talking about the 5-year capital improvements plan is amended by appropriating $1,158,918 to the Restore Act Bay Adams project from the following projects funding year 2021.
Right. Well, that money, the Restore Act money has been pulled down. So we need a project and that amount of money assigned to that project. That money is there from.
I'm not disputing where the money's there, but
Right.
we appropriate $1 million to this project from the Restore Act projects and $6,000 from the Restore Act East Bank Land Bridge project. So we're taking money from 2 projects to put into this one project.
Well, yes.
And it's $1 million. So where are you coming with 1,000 or whatever you're saying?
100,000. Well, that was
Where you
from the
coming
East
with
Bank Land Bridge side.
Dylan,
But yeah, it's $1 million project that we're doing in the Restore Act that's been approved already. This is the discussion we had about a couple months ago when I.
John, I'm reading from the document and we voting on the document. So I wanted to reflect what's in the document, not some conversation that was held in some hall.
This wasn't held in a hall. This was presented to the council back when. When you asked for all that information, I provided you with all that.
You still want to argue about it, huh?
No, I'm not arguing about it, but I understand that this is being appropriated for this project through the
I'll
Restore.
read it one more time for the record so it'll be clear for the public because we're not sending signal messages here. It says, The 5-year capital improvements plan is amended by appropriating $1,158,918 to the Restore Act Bay Adams project from the following projects funding year 2021. $1,072,158.45 from the Restore Act project and $86,759.55 from the Restore Act East Bank Land Bridge project. That's what we're voting on,
Yes.
period.
Mr. Blank?
Sure. Can you tell us more about when the appropriation was made to move $100,000 from the Bay Adams project to the East Bank Land Bridge?
I can get that information for you.
Okay.
I don't have it with me right now.
And there were some efforts that happened in the past to find out which areas were important to the public to restore. And this was actually one of the areas that the public thought was the least important to do. And having that traditional ecological knowledge, just that paper in your office might help to guide some of this restoration work. That area, while it has had some land loss, it's not too bad compared to some other places that are nearby and could really use it.
Well, this is a 2017 project that's in the master plan for the state, and this was submitted in 2015 and 16 to the council at the time, which approved this project to move forward. So it was already on a project list, and it was already in, before our administration came, this project was always already underway.
Yeah. We could break the cycle at any time.
When did they take the 100,000 out of the Bay Adams project and move it over?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look on that one. I don't have that piece of information written right here.
I yield, thanks.
Any other questions? Our audience? Machines open. Passes 7-0.
Thank you, and I'll get you that information and have better prepared on the next round.
Thank you.
9I was deferred, 9J was done, 9K is done, 9L withdrawn, 9M deferred, 9N withdrawn. Item 10, approval of the minutes from the October 28, 2021 regular meeting.
I'll offer as for second. Second by Mr. LaFrance. Any questions? Machines open. Mr. Blank?
Oh, sorry, I thought I hit.
Passes 7-0.
Item 11B, District 9 update, Councilmember Konovich, 1 Boothville Civic Center, 2 Fort Jackson Pavilion, 3 boat harbors, 4 trash pickup, 5 grass cutting, 6 ditches and culverts.
Go with 1 and 2, since we got the new permitting stuff. Can we build them now on the ground?
I don't have the answer to that question. I was not aware that you were going to ask about flood insurance and base flood elevations in these two projects.
I've been asking to get them done, and now can we do it?
Mr. Burris has information on the Boothville Civic Center, and that project, I believe, is waiting on a closeout with FEMA. And can we do it without building them on the ground? I believe the answer is no, because it needs to be elevated because of the base flood elevation in the area. The Fort Jackson Pavilion, that one I'll have to check on. If it's an open pavilion and it's not a building, it may be different, but I am not the expert on that, but I'll find out from our floodplain manager what the answer is to that question.
Thank you. Mr. Blank?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Over at the fort, there could be an opportunity. We appropriated the funding from the port to do the dredging there at the harbor entrance, and that sand and sediment can be brought to elevate at the fort. It's not in the Batcher, but it's still outside of the main Mississippi River levee. So it might be an opportunity to get some fill in that area if you pick a corner.
Got 15 feet of fill?
Something's better than nothing, as we heard earlier.
And then Fort Jackson, it's looking good. But, they never did go get the lawnmower out.
Yeah, we brought it up yesterday.
All right,
Yes, sir.
thanks.
We've been working on it all week and we should be finished up tomorrow. Maintenance is gonna check on that one piece of timber where they got a hole in it. They had another one out there, they're gonna replace it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna try to sturdy up the handrail.
Thanks.
It's looking good.
Yes, it is. Thanks. I'll defer on the rest.
Item 11C, District 8 update, Councilmember Blink. 1, lights on Empire Bridge. 2, Empire Bridge repair. And 3, lighting in front of South Plaquemines High School.
All right, since we've already done item 2, we'll go with 1. I spoke with Matt Cormier the other day. He says things are still moving forward slowly with the lights on the Empire Bridge. And I'm not going to object to that anymore, especially after that accident that was down in that direction. But the lighting in front of South Plaquemines High School, Mac mentioned that there's a lighting study, some sort of traffic study that's going on right now with DOTD. I've asked for lights to be put on the existing poles across the street to get us by in the meantime before permanent standalone poles could be installed by DOTD. Is there any update from Entergy on a timeline?
No, the request has been submitted to Energy, and it was submitted several weeks ago. I have not gotten an update from Entergy on the status of when those lights will be added to the existing poles, but I will certainly send an email and ask them.
Thank you very much, Todd.
Yes, sir.
I talked with Sean Wilson about it. That and lowering the speed limit, and that's when he brought up he had to do a safety study.
I mean, it just blows my mind. I mean, somebody got run over. It's pitch black out there, and we got to do a study.
I know. There's one light and it's burnt out, and I got a flag around the pole, so.
All right, that's all for me. Thank you all.
Item 11D, District 1 update, Councilmember Bartholomew. Discussion regarding the flooding near the railroad tracks across from Carnarvon, and update on plans for the levee on the north end to provide protection for residents of Braithwaite Park.
Anybody can address that?
Yeah, I can give you some information on it. We've sent a request. Patrick Harvey is supposed to have sent a request to Stoughton to see if they will be accommodating and help with putting a gate where the railroad crossing is, rather than us having to move dirt into a pile every time, which we know is not going to work in the long run. I know that the highway being raised is on the RPC radar right now. The request has been made. Don't know if it's moving forward or not, but I know the request has been made to raise the highway to where that levee will not need to be sandbagged anymore.
What they're really asking, the prevention, what steps are we making for prevention? Even if we can't get the road elevated, what we will do to try to protect that area with the sandbags again?
I think that's the only.
Because I'm just saying,
we have.
they didn't have any bags, enough bags there last time, according to residents on that upper end.
I believe we've contracted someone to make those bags, and do we have?
We got 200 bags right there by the old Enrichment France slab that we're gonna use for that.
Okay, what, in Carnarvon, down at the White Ditch?
Well, we're not gonna use all 200 in that one spot. We'll use some by the railroad, the raw crossing. Like this.
Okay, so that they make it all even with the levees.
We have 200 bags right there.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Item 11E was deferred. 11F, District 5 update, Councilmember Roussel, update and discussion of the Fort St. Leon Drainage Project. 2, status of upgrades to the Bell Chase Water Plant intake. And 3, discussion and update on Plaquemines off-road vehicle track on Walker Road.
Yes, we've already taken up or discussed the St. Leon Drainage Project, which is being advertised. The water plant and intake, could you tell us where we're at with that project? And also the Walker Road vehicle track?
The
The slope stability analysis for the raw water intake has been submitted to the Corps of Engineers. Corps of Engineers is reviewing it for a permit now. That's what the status of the raw water intake is currently.
And the money that we appropriated now, we should have enough money? And you said last time, no.
No, we still don't have enough money.
And so how much more do we need?
About 700,000.
And you have that in the budget for 2022?
Do not. I was told there was not enough money available to put it in the budget.
What about the engineer that is doing this design? I had asked for a total breakdown of all of the funding that we've had on this project and haven't seen that yet. That's been about 2 months now.
I haven't gotten it from engineering yet. I'll ask him again.
I'll leave this on for the next agenda because what I think we need to do is we need to get the engineer to the table and see what he's doing and find out how much money he's got in this project for various things that may not have been spent, and we may be able to bid this project.
I believe there is the opportunity to do that, especially with the pump, the building for the raw water pump house. We have spoken to him about that, and I believe that is an option.
So please provide us that list of funding or expenditures to date, and that way, hopefully there'll be some savings there where we can bid this project. It's long overdue. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The Walker Road, off-track vehicle track, yeah, I know you was out for a while.
Yeah, we still shut down on that right now because we have a vegetation debris site right there.
Okay, have you contacted the state, make sure that we don't get penalized on the grant money?
I have not. I will check into that.
That's all I have, thank you.
I have an email from Kathy Gonzalez. She says, Dear Mr. Lapine, I spoke to you recently about the burning of vegetative debris near my home. Smoke continues to smoke us out. I even have smoke coming into my home. I would like to discover how the parish property, which is one property away from my home, continues to be a burn site after each hurricane. After Hurricane Isaac, the parish burned down the 2 houses that were on the property. Several years ago, a river batcher was cleaned up and that was burned with tires put into the mix. Each time I inquire, I am told it is permitted. That is not good enough. We are having a hard time living here with the constant smoke. I am disappointed how the parish continues to use what used to be a beautiful property and turned it into a dump. We have lived on our property for over 40 years and have loved residing in Plaquemines Parish. Everything was fine until the parish purchased the property previously owned by Clyde Giordano. That property has been turned into a burn zone with no regard for residents who live around in the area. I would like to request the following records. 1, FEMA PW for the collection and disposal of vegetative debris on the east bank and west bank of the parish. 2, the application the parish submitted for the above PW. 3, the permit for burning debris. 4, the application the parish submitted for the permit. Please let me know if there are any forms I must complete or any fees required to obtain these public records. Sincerely, Kathy Gonzalez, 7067 Highway 39, Braithwaite, Louisiana, 70040.
Can that email be forwarded to the administration so we can address those issues? Thank you.
Item 11G deferred. Item 11I was withdrawn. 11J, update by plenary on the Bell Chase Bridge.
Defer that one, go to.
Item 11L, reading a plenary public announcement, Councilmember Konovich. They're not here, so I'll read this statement. Statement for the City Council to read at November 4th, 2021, Plaquemines Parish City Council meeting. Plenary infrastructure, Bell Chase, November 9th and 10th, Plaquemines Parish Community Engagement Events. Plenary infrastructure, Bell Chase will host 2 public open house style community engagement events on November 9th, 2021 at the Bell Chase Auditorium, and on November 10th, 2021 at the Port Sulphur Community Center. The open houses will take place from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., at which time Plaquemines Parish residents can stop by to obtain an overall update on the schedule for the new bridge, operations and maintenance for the existing bridge and tunnel, construction plans for the upcoming months, and an opportunity to discuss park enhancement plans for Veterans Park. Information stations will be set up to disseminate updates in a more personal individual presentation setting. Plenary is also looking forward to connecting with Plaquemines Parish area resources to obtain their input in assisting to help finalize elements of the military history themed plaques that will appear on the bridge pillars in Veterans Park. To learn more about the Bell Chase Bridge and Tunnel Replacement Project, log on to their website at bellchasebridge.com.
Thank you. And everybody should have got some handouts. And do I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Albro, motion to adjourn, is there a second? Second. Second by Ms. Newberry. Machines open. That passes 7-0, meeting adjourned at 6:04.